Welcome back, everyone. In this lesson, we are going to talk a bit more about actions that you can perform with locators. In previous lessons, we already touched upon the click action, and in this lesson, we are going to also show fill and check. Now, the way we are going to do this is by coding a specific example. We are going to use our test application, meaning Best Buy. Okay, so what we are going to do is try to sign up for an account. We are not going to do the entire flow. So we are going to press the account button, then go to create account, and then try to fill all the fields that we have here. And we are going to stop at create account. Okay, let's see how we are going to do this. So first of all, let's create a different test in our test package. We will call this sign up test. Let's create our test. We will call the method public void sign up test. Okay. And now to make this a test, I'm going to use the annotation from JUnit 5. I'm going to copy from our previous test everything up to the navigation part, because we will do the same steps. So creating the Playwright object, launching a Chrome browser, creating a context with the geolocation permission set, then instantiating a new page, and then navigating to Best Buy. So going from here, what we should see is this page, and the first action that we need to make is click this account button. Let's try to see how we can identify this. So we have this button over here, and you can see that it has a data attribute. And I'm going to copy this. So for these examples, I'm going to use CSS selectors. So the way we interact with the page, we need to specify a locator, then pass the CSS selector over here. Now, if I look over here, this is a button and it has a data attribute. So I'm going to say button and then specify the data attribute. Actually copy this, okay, equals, and then the value. The value of this is HDR sign. Okay, and after we declare the locator, we need to perform the action, which will be click in our case. I'm going to duplicate this line. So we click the account. Next is create account. Let's see how to identify this one. Okay, so this is a link, and we could use a text. That would work, but let's try to write something else. Okay, so I can use this div to identify the entire box. So I'll write something like div dot using the class over here, which is header guest user, and then go for the link. So these are CSS selectors, and this link over here for the create account, we can see that we have a create account button class. This should work fine. Perfect. So I'm going to use this. Pass it over here, and then again perform a click. So at this point, what we should have is click account, click create account. Okay, let's see if this actually works so far. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here, debug our test until that point, and let's see what happens. Okay, my browser is up and running. Okay. Okay, and we have an error. Okay, so the selector I've passed over here, I forgot to delete this square bracket, which is not required. And also this. Okay, we should be fine now. Let's try this again. I expect that this time it would work. Okay. Okay, we have a pop-up this time, but it should work regardless. Okay. Okay, so we have the create account form. Next, what I want to do is use something to fill in the first name, last name, email address, password, confirm password, and then also use the check action to check this radio button over here. This checkbox actually. This is a checkbox. Okay. So let's start to identify all these elements. Okay, so first name. This is an input and has an ID of first name. This should work perfect. I'm going to duplicate this again. So an input with an ID of first name, and this time we are not going to use click. We need to input some text. So we are going to use the fill method. Be advised, as I said in a previous lesson, that Playwright also has type, but this is not the type that you've used in Selenium, because this will only wait for the element to be attached to the page. So we are going to use this one, which will wait for more states. It will wait for the element to be attached, stable, visible, enabled, and editable. Okay, let's say as a value first name. Duplicate this row. Let's check the other one, the last name. The last name, it is again an input and it has an ID of last name. I'm changing the value to last name for this one. Duplicate the row again. Move to the next one, which is an email address. And this is again an input. It has an ID of email. So I'm going to say alex at example.com. We are not going to go through with the entire flow. So it just needs to be a valid email address. Next, we have the mobile phone number. Let's check this one. This is again an input and it has an ID of phone. Okay, I'm going to try to fill in a fake number. Okay, this seems fine. Copy this. So I was just checking if there are any client-side validations, and if so, if my number wasn't correct, I should have seen that, but it seems this is fine. Next. Oh, actually, I missed the password field. No worries, I'm going to do them now. So the password. This has an ID of field -p1. Okay. I'm going to put this. I have email. Okay, let's put them here. And let's insert password, and then we will need to confirm this. It also has a confirm input. Copy the ID. Okay, we should be fine. And the last one should be we should check this, use for account recovery, this checkbox. Let's see it's actually a checkbox. An input with type checkbox. Okay, let's copy the ID for this one. And here, instead of fill, we are going to use the action called check. So you can use the check option for radio buttons or checkboxes. Ensure that the element is a checkbox or a radio input. Perfect. So this should work. Okay, let's give this a try. I'm going to stop it because it was in debug mode, and I'm going to run it until the breakpoint. So we should have a form completely filled in. Perfect. So first name, last name was added, the email address, the password, and you can see here the client-side validation saying that the password actually matched. Then we have the mobile phone number, and we also checked this checkbox using the check action. So in this lesson we've used click, fill, and check actions, and we also used the CSS selectors to identify the elements in the page. So this will be all for this lesson. See you guys in the next one.